Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm just going to do a little video today on installing my wood burning stove in the off-grid cabin. I've just done the most daunting part, which is actually drilling a hole in the roof of my brand new cabin. Bit panic stations, but basically what I did is I put the stove roughly where I want it. I'm just leaving enough room to the left here so I can sit in a chair by the window. The camera's just by the window here by the front door. Put the stovepipes on, and I just got a bit of string with a weight on the end and just cut a hole through this insulation, and just found a center point just roughly within a few millimeters. I can move the stove to fit, it's fine. And I just drilled a center hole so I can now get up on the roof from the side and draw basically a square. So what I'm going to do is, this is the flashing kit. You just silicone this on. You get this is aluminium around the sides, you can bend it to fit the profile of the roof. It's very flexible. So I'll bend that into position and silicone it on. I don't know if I need to drill through that with some self-tapping, metal to metal screws. I have got some. Silicone holds things really tight. I don't know that I'm going to need to, but we'll see anyway. All I need to do is to cut. It's got measured increments. I don't know if you can see on there. So it fits any sort of size stovepipe up to 127 mil. This is a 3.5 inch. What's that? About 80 something mil. Yeah, so I'll cut it on there, and then that stovepipe will go through that, and that'll sit on the roof. And this can do any roof up to an angle of 45 degrees, which this is less than that, so it's fine. So yeah, I think I'm just going to silicone that outside, but what I need to do is, from that center point, is just mark a 6-inch square hole which will fit just inside. If you see on here, you've got these rough bits. 6-inch square will fit just about the outside of the hole here. So I don't want anything too close to the pipe. I haven't got a twinned walled or triple walled pipe, but I am going to put my pipe oven in here, so a lot of the heat will radiate out from that as well. So I'm hoping that it'll be okay without it. But should this start to deteriorate at all, I had one of these in my canvas tent with my Frontier stove, and I ran it for years, and it probably lower down than this, closer to the firebox, and it never had a problem. So I think it's going to be fine. But any problems, I can just cut the silicone and put a new one on. Yeah, so I've just got to mark that, then angle grind out the hole. And then what I'm going to do, when they put the shed up, they basically left me some of these timbers, a few cut-offs, which are the same size as all the framing and the roof joist. So I've done this right next to this is a roof joist here. So all I'm going to do is get some of this timber, just cut it to just frame the 6-inch hole, and I'll just pop that in. I perhaps should have done this before I put the insulation on, but I just wanted to roll this insulation out and just got on with it. Didn't really think, but I'll basically frame the hole with timber, and that'll have a bit of space either side. It should be fine. I can line it with some tin or something anyway. Yeah, so it should be fine. It's about as big as I can go, really, like I say, to fit this on the outside. So it's about as big as I can go. So I'm going to crack on anyway. I may not be doing me cutting a hole because I want to concentrate completely. I don't want to mess that up, but I will show you when I'm a little bit further on sort of how things are gone. All right, so I've cut the hole. I did have a little bit of a balls up because of the angle I was holding the cutter. I was looking at the front of the blade, not the back, and because I came into this corner, I didn't realise I cut a little bit further back than I should have done there. But it's absolutely fine because the overhang of this comes to just the other side of here, so it's all going to be sealed anyway, so you're not going to see it. So what I've done is I've put the timber frame inside. I cut a hole of 5 inches in the tin, and I've made the timber frame it at 6.5 inches. So basically the idea is, and I've just screwed through the tin and into the timbers below. I'll show you from inside in a second. They're all going to be covered with silicone. They're just normal screws, not tin screws. But this, I've sort of shaped it roughly to fit the, if I can show you, to fit the profile. It just needs a bit more bending into shape. But what I will probably use is some tin, those metal to metal screws, and I'll go through that and into the tin. So that is going to sit on there like that. best as it can. Sealed around with heat-proof silicone, which I'm going to go and buy after lunch in a minute. So that's got to go on there. And I'll just go and show you from inside what I've done. So basically, I've just cut through had to cut the insulation open a bit more. This is all going to be sheeted with ply anyway, so it'll all be hidden. I'll just fold it up and cut it to just inside the timber here, and then I'll cut a hole in my sheet to match this hole. So basically, this was the joist going up for the roof. So I just cut 2 6.5-inch pieces, and then this bit was 6.5 plus the width of these two. So I just made a square and just framed this hole. So that centre hole is 6.5 inches square, and the hole in the tin is 5 inches, and my pipe is 3.5. So that gives a bit of a gap by the tin. When I silicone up, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to get heat-proof silicone, and I'm going to silicone over this cut edge of the tin as well, so it doesn't rust. And I'm actually going to smear silicone over the timber and the join. I'll cut all this membrane out of the way and all the insulation out of the way, so it's nothing plasticky. And then that will all then be sealed, and I can attach my sheet when I sheet over this insulation, cut the hole, and I can just screw around it into the timber frame around the hole. So like I say, I'm no expert. I'm just kind of winging this as I always do. That's the old Nomad stove there. Yeah, I'm just kind of winging it really. I know I put a stove in my pallet house. It was a stove that had a 5-inch flue. This one's only 3.5, and it used to glow red. And I had it about 1/2 inch away from a thin wooden side, and it just started to scald it a little bit. So this one is a bit further away. It's got an extra bit of clearance, and it's a smaller flue, and it doesn't get quite so hot as that other stove. The other stove's a bigger stove, it's like a rocket stove. It used to just glow red. So yeah, I'll come back and show you when I've got everything installed. That'll probably be tomorrow now, but it's looking so good so far. I'm fairly happy. I was a bit dubious this morning getting started, but fairly happy with it so far. Right, so I've just been home for lunch, bought some silicone, and I've just installed the silicone flashing kit. Now, obviously, because it's following the contours, it's kind of distorted it a bit, but I've already cut that to 85 mil. I've checked it, and it fits nice and tight over the pipe, the flue pipe. So what I've done is I brought some of this Evo sticks like that. It sticks to anything. It's weatherproof. It's heatproof up to 100°C, and you can even apply it in the wet. Now I did get some isopropyl on some towel and just clean off, just to make sure there's no grease or anything. I'm not too worried about, there's a bit of silicone here. It's basically, I drew around and I drew the width of this aluminium bit, and I put a nice big bead all the way around, and I put some of these self-tapping metal to metal bolts in. They basically drill their way through, and it's pulled it in really tight, so it all splurged out the side, and I just smeared it round with a glove on, so it's all nicely sealed. So I'm going to go inside now and have a look in there. All right, so this is looking from the inside. So basically you can see the timber, that's the joist, and then this is the timber frame that I put around it. One of the bolts that has gone through the metal sticking out there, but this doesn't matter because I'm going to silicone around that. I've just brought some of this stuff. This is heatproof plumber's flue silicone. It can handle like up to 300 centigrade and constant 250, but it's not actually going to be in contact anyway. All I'm going to do is I'm going to just basically line a nice sort of thickness of it around this timber. I'll put the fire in tomorrow when this clear silicone has gone off, the Evo stick silicone, and then I'm going to light the fire just to dry out. This timber was a little bit wet, just to dry it out a little bit. And then once it's dry, and actually probably once I put the sheet on here, because I'll cut this to fit the hole, Then I'm going to put a nice layer of that black silicone. I'm going to smear it all around here, a few mil thick, and curve it up to the edge of the metalwork there, and just completely seal it in. I have got a fill because I went into one of the profiles of the roof, so there's a bit of a gap here, and obviously that's going straight out of the roof, so there'll be a bit of a draft there. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of wood and sit in there, and I'm going to use, when I've got the other silicone open, I'm just going to silicone that into place and seal it all up now. So that will all be sealed now. Because it's gone over the contour of the roof, it has kind of twisted the silicone a little bit, so it's a funny shape. But the pipe will just push through that, it's fine. And if you notice, if you look square on, I don't know if that's showing there, the hole is actually slightly this way, because what I realised was, because the roof is on a slope, the pipe is going to go up here. If I put it central, it's actually going to be closer to this side. So I put it slightly forward. So when the pipe is central, it should sit perfectly in there. So yeah, that's the plan. So I'll get this all finished and fire it up tomorrow, and we'll see how we go. So it's exciting times. The fire is in, and I'll give you a look round in a minute and show you what I did. I've got it all ready to fire it up and just see how it goes. I've bought my stovepipe thermometer, and I've put that up on the stovepipe just down from where it's going through the roof. Just be interesting to see what temperature the pipe gets to. And I've got an internal digital thermometer with an outdoor sensor, so I can get the inside and outside temperatures. Not the coldest of days today, it's about I think 8 or 9. It'll just be interesting to see what difference it makes, although I'm going to be in and out the door, so I'm still cutting roof sheets and that now. But I'm just going to fire it up now for the first time. Stay there, mate, and see how we go. If I want my lighter to work. The paper's a little bit wet. Leave the vent fully open. So that will hopefully get going well. Might know that way. And I'll just give you a quick look round. So the chimney's coming a fair way out of the top of the shed. That's with all the stovepipes. But I have got the pipe oven, which I'm going to put on, and I'll probably leave that on permanently. So that will raise it up by probably another one of these tubes size. It's about the same sort of size. So get it up a fair bit more. But yeah, that's smoking away nice. A few little bits coming out because it's just started, so you always get a few bits of paper coming out. I'll just show you the inside now. So it's starting to go away quite well. Mind your nose, Milo. So I've got the stovepipe. Now, it's not all stainless steel is magnetic. This sticks on my one at home because it's obviously like a cast iron or something. So I just had to put a bit of wire around and just hold it on. So that's already up to over 100. And what we've basically done is cut through, so all the black that you can see is heat-proof silicone. And what I did is I beaded that. It's at least 5 mil thick all the way around, like a thick curtain of it. But like I said before, because it is going to be closer to this side because of the angle of the roof, what I did was, from a bit of the tin that I cut out, I put a heat shield in, so this goes right up to the silicone. I put a bead of about 5 mil silicone round first, stuck it on, and then screwed it on through the silicone till it just started to squeeze the silicone out, and I stopped. So there's a nice thick bit of heat-proof silicone behind that heat shield, then the bit of metal, and then another 5 mil on top of it before any timber, and then this bit back here will just help to reflect any heat away from the timber here. But I'm just going to monitor it. I won't leave it alone at all for the first couple of times that I fire it up. And worst case, I'll have to cut some of this timber away. It is a little closer than I thought, even though I moved the silicon up an inch. But we'll see. It seems fine. It's further away than my stove in my other building was. But yeah, so I'm going to keep it going, and then I'll fire a few more logs on, get it really as hot as it will go, leave the vent fully open, because that will tell me whether there's going to be any problems. It's already kicking off a lot of heat. I don't think I'm going to have it running this hot when I'm in here, especially when I've got all the insulation done. I'll have it just ticking over, I expect. But I'll come back in a few minutes and we'll look at temperatures and stuff. So that is the outside sensor for my digital thermometer. And come on in, good boy. So I've just run it for a little bit. I've been in and out, but just trying to keep the door shut in between. So this is the temperature outside, 11.2, inside 21.5, and it is rising. I've had to turn the heater down, it's just too hot in here, but obviously the humidity's gone right down to almost half with that. Yeah, so what I realised when I first started it up, I like to obviously have it open, get it roaring, and within about 20 minutes it was on this dial, it was getting up to almost the sort of 300, about 280 it got to. And when you have it open, this bottom pipe will glow red. I just wanted to sort of see what happened, but the flue was getting a little bit too warm, so I shut the vent. It's quite a controllable stove, this. You got the baffle, you can shut, it never shuts completely, there is a slight gap around it. Obviously that'd be dangerous, but you can just play with that a little bit, and then you've got different levels of ventage on here, obviously fully open or whatever. And I've found keeping it on either the 1 or the 2, having it fully open is too much. It's actually made me realise what an efficient little stove this is, to be honest, the Nomad, Winnerwell Nomad. I've only ever used it outside for parties and stuff. I've used it on my decking many times, and if it's damp, it will dry the decking out underneath, but it's never scorched it or anything. But I did stand it on this thick, sort of 2-inch thick concrete slab, just as a precaution. Didn't want to scorch anything. So yeah, what I've realised, so all I'm thinking, if I want to do cooking and stuff, I may, in fact, I'm going to open the door a bit now. It's really warm in here. It's too warm for me. So yeah, if I'm doing cooking and stuff, I may want to run the stove hot whilst I'm cooking stuff. I have got the pipe oven, which will go on this section of pipe above the baffle. That will obviously radiate some of the heat out and perhaps reduce the temperature a few degrees of the flue up here, because that's quite a big add-on which will radiate some of the heat. But I'm thinking, just in case I ever want to run it a bit hotter, if it's really, really cold and I'm doing some cooking, I'm a little bit worried, because that silicone is rated at a constant it can contact 250 degrees centigrade, and it can do short periods of 300. So I'd have to be running it to a point where it is actually glowing red, that first section of flue, and the back of the stove here sometimes glows as well. So that is a bit silly, I suppose, but I'm just actually wondering whether to spend I think it's 60 quid, and get a section of triple walled pipe. So all I'll have to do is cut a bit more of the silicone out and put the triple walled pipe through. It's just, for the sake of 60 quid, it might just make it a bit safer. So I'm going to have a look at that later. But yeah, all in all, I'm really happy. I mean, crikey, it's like an oven in here. Oh, just realised. Is that nice, Milo? Hey, is that nice? Milo's found his bed. I did put it here. This is a big old bed that I use in my hammock when I'm camping. But it's just a dog bed I got off a market. I thought I'd put it here, see if he'd go on it, and he has. Is that nice? Hey? Nice Milo. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, so it's definitely going to do the job. You know, it's going to heat this shed perfectly. It's not even fully sort of insulated or anything yet. It does make me wonder whether to even bother insulating the sidewalls, whether to just plank it and leave it as an airspace. I really don't know. I could save a bit of money because that is super warm. I don't feel the cold particularly. My wife does. But for me, I could just leave this ticking over, and I'd probably even have to open the window, I should expect, just to keep a bit of fresh air coming in because I don't like it too hot. But anyway, all in all, I'm well happy. Yeah, so there'll be more videos to come on the cabin. So please like and subscribe if you're interested in the videos. But anyway, guys, take it easy, and we will see you next time.